Right, afternoon. I decided to do this one offline and I'll upload it after. Rant time again. This time about the government. So the government's actually kept their promise for once, have they? Yeah, they kept their promise. Johnson reckons that he was going to send out letters to 30 million homes about the coronavirus, and it's turned up today. So let's see what's actually inside this envelope, shall we? Now, before I start reading of it, I must apologise because my eyes are a bit blurry. And not only that, not long just woken up, and I do have sometimes there'll be problems with reading certain words. So anyway, yeah, right. I can understand about the virus going around and people need to know about it and follow the rules, but have you noticed how much the government has probably spent on advertising the actual the virus itself? Being like all the banners, on bus stops and on street walls and on TV as well. They've probably spent thousands, even billions of dollars on advertising when they could be putting out money to something like more important. Well, I say like more important, but like helping the homeless to get into like sheltered accommodation because they're more at risk than anyone else. People who are homeless, they should be spending more money on getting them people into homes and helping people who haven't got the finances to go out and buy certain food. Like I have problems buying food each month because I'm on a very low income. I'm not had one person come knock on my door and say, "Are you okay? Do you need any supplies or anything like that?" No, not that I'd actually want it, but it'd be nice for the government to send people around and ask you if you do need things. But you've got to be careful on who knocks on your door anyway, because people do come knocking on your door saying that they're kind of like just pop in and give you like the corona test and stuff like that, and they might not even be something to do with like any kind of medical services. They just come in and rob you. So just be careful on letting people in when they say they're here to check up on your coronavirus. Find out if you've got the virus or not, because there's a lot of rumours going around that people are pretending to work for the NHS or for some medical company, and they come around to like do tests on people, but they're not. They're actually like burgling them. So anyway, I did see on my mobile phone a news item stating that they're going to send letters out, being this letter. So let's just see, because this is supposed to be an update on the rules and regulations. Now, the rules at the moment is that you can go out to exercise, you can go out, to like walk your dog, you can go out and buy a bit of shopping. What else was there? And you can go out to go to work if you're still in work. So that's the three rules, shopping, exercise, and work. Now, they were meant to be saying that they was going to like even put more of a restrict ruling on about people going out. So let's see what it says, right? Now, this is like, from the Prime Minister, Boris Johnson. It's kind of like just a letter that's been photocopied. There's his signature at the bottom. Right, this is what he says, and it's the same crap all the time. It's just like repeat. It's like watching so many repeats on TV that you get bored of it. And this is like going to be the repeat on what he's been saying on social media and on television and stuff like that. Right, the Prime Minister. I'm writing to you to update you on the steps we are taking to combat coronavirus. In just a few weeks, everyday life in this country has changed dramatically. Don't we know that? We all feel the profound impact of coronavirus, not just on ourselves, but on our loved ones and the communities. I understand completely the difficulties this disruption has caused to your lives, businesses, and jobs, but the action we have taken is absolutely necessary for one very simple reason. If too many people become seriously unwell at one time, the NHS will be unable to cope. This will cost lives. We must slow down the spread of the disease and reduce the number of people needing hospital treatment in order to save many lives as possible. This is why we are giving one simple instruction. You must stay at home. You should not meet friends or relatives who do not live in your home. You may only leave your home for very limited purposes, such as buying food and medicine, exercising once a day and seeking medical attention. You can travel to and from work, but should work from home if you can. When you do have to leave your home, you should ensure, wherever possible, that you are 2 meters apart from anyone outside your household. These rules must be observed, so if people break the rules, the police will issue fines and disperse gatherings. I know many of you will deeply worried about the financial impact on you and your family. The government will do whatever it takes to help you make ends meet and put food on the table. The enclosed leaflet sets out more detail about the support and the rules you need to follow. You can also find the latest advice on gov.uk/coronavirus. From the start, we have sought to put in the right measures at the right time. We will not hesitate to go further if that is what the scientific and medical advice tells us we must do. It's important for me to level with you. We know things will get worse before it gets better, but we're taking the right preparations, and the more we all follow the rules, the fewer lives will be lost, and the sooner life can return to normal. I want to thank everyone who is working flat out to beat the virus, particular staff in our fantastic NHS and care sector across England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland. It has been truly inspirational to see our doctors and nurses and others' careers rise magnificently to the need of the hour. Thousands of retired doctors and nurses and returning to the NHS, and hundreds and thousands of citizens are volunteering to help the vulnerable. It is with the great British spirit that we will beat the coronavirus, and we will beat it together. That is why, at this moment, the national emergency, I urge you, please stay at home, protect the NHS and save lives. Well, he's congratulating the NHS and all the people coming out of retirement, but the NHS ain't getting what they're supposed to be getting, are they? The help and support they need, like the mask and, the proper clothing and, their own test kits and stuff. Even two of my sisters work for the NHS and they ain't got fuck all yet. So, let's have a look at this one, shall we? Corona, stay at home, protect the NHS and save lives. Right, stay at home. The single most important action you can take is to stay at home in order to protect the NHS and save lives. You should only leave the house for very limited reasons. Shopping for basic necessaries, for example, food and medicines, as infrequently as possible. One form of exercise a day, for example, a run or walk or cycle, alone or with members of the family. Any medicine needed, including to donate blood, avoid risk of harm, provide care for those vulnerable people. Travelling for work purposes, but only where you cannot work from home. These exceptions, and when doing these activities, you should minimise time spent outside from the home. Ensure you are 2 metres away apart from anyone else outside your household. Critical workers and parents of vulnerable children may leave the house to take their children to and from school to the child care provider. More details available online. Children can be moved between homes if their parents live separately. Symptoms. You may have coronavirus if you have either the following symptoms, however mild: a high temperature, a new continuous cough. Well, I do cough a couple of times a day, but not constantly. I suffer with more headaches than anything else. Anyone who has these symptoms must stay at home until the symptoms have ended. And in all cases, at least 7 days. Everyone else in the household must stay at home for at least 14 days after the first person's symptoms appear. So if you're living at home and like your brother suddenly gets the symptoms, his brothers and sisters, the mum and dad, has to stay indoors for 14 days, but he can stay in for 7 days, which don't make sense. 14 days after the person's symptoms appears, even if they themselves do not have symptoms. If anyone else develops symptoms during that time, that individual must stay at home for an additional 7 days from when they develop symptoms. Once 7 days have passed and provided symptoms have ended, they no longer need to be isolated. Do not go to the GP, surgery, pharmacy, or hospital. Use NHS online services. Only call 111 if you're not able to get online. You have been instructed to call or your symptoms worsen. Call 999 if you have a serious or life-threatening emergency, and tell the call advisor if you have corona symptoms. Advice of who are 70 and over, having an underlying health condition, or are pregnant. So you're pregnant or over 70. People who are 70 and over, or those who have been underlying health conditions, are likely to become more seriously affected. It is even more important that you protect yourself now by following the advice above. If you are at very high risk due to a serious unhealthy health condition, you should have already received a letter from the NHS containing specific guidelines about what to do. If you need to go shopping or medication, ask your family, friends, or neighbours to drop these at the door, or if possible, order online. Use NHS services or the NHS app to book appointments to order repeat prescriptions. Only phone if this is not possible. GP consultants should be done over the phone or online to minimise risk to you and your partners. GP practices may postpone non-urgent health checks or routine appointments. There is a helpful information and advice for pregnant women about coronavirus on Royal College of Herbs. I don't know what that says. Two weird words I can't even pronounce, but pregnant women can find the information online. Support for business and workers. The government knows that all these measures have a huge impact on business, households and people across the country, and has taken action to protect lives and incomes. For business this morning, 330 billion is being made available in loans and guarantees. Another 20 billion is being given to businesses through tax relief and cash grants. HMRC is deferring VAT payments for the next quarter. So it looks like you don't have to pay your tax for the next quarter month. For workers and families, the Corona Job Retention Scheme means employers can receive 80% of their wage up to the maximum of $2,500 per month. The Coronavirus Self-Employed Income Support Scheme will provide a grant to most of self-employed individuals or partners worth 8% of their profits up to the cap of $2,500 per month. Extra support for the unemployed and those on no income through universal credit tax credits with up to $1,040. That's per year, I believe. £1,040. Well, I'm on income support, or actually I'm on universal credit, and they reckon that we're supposed to be getting an £80 extra income for the next 12 months. Well, I was on my universal credit yesterday, and I've got no extra. It's still the same as last month. So I've put a journal in my put a message in my journal asking, well, where's the extra money that we're supposed to be getting? So I've not got no extra. Right. So yeah, extra support for the unemployed and those on low incomes through universal credit and tax credits worth up to £1,040. Nearly 1 billion of additional supports for renters. Mortgage holidays of 3 months for anyone in difficulty due to coronavirus, including owners of buy-to-let properties. This is just some of the support available for businesses and workers. Further information is available online. Back pages. Right, so the chart. Day 1, developed symptoms triggering 7-day isolation for herself. Should be him or herself. And 14 days after the household. Isolation ends if symptoms have stopped. Person B. Develop symptoms and start a 7-day count. Isolation ends if symptoms have stopped. Person C, no symptoms. Isolation ends. Person D, develop symptoms and start 7-day count. That's all that says on there. Help stop infection spreading and support each other. Wash your hands with soap and water often. Do this at least for 20 seconds. Cover your mouth and nose with tissue or your sleeve, not your hands, when you cough or sneeze. Well, they reckon the virus can stay on your clothes, and if you brush against someone accidentally, you're passing on your germs to whoever you accidentally brush against, don't you, really? So, you really need to carry tissues around or wear a mask. Use tissues in the bin immediately after you washed your hands afterwards. Do not touch your eyes, nose, or mouth if your hands are not clean. Clean and disinfect frequently. Touch surfaces and objects in your home, such as door handles and taps. Shop responsible. Follow advice in stores and only buy what you need for yourself and your family and those you're supporting. Actually gives you a diagram how to wash your hands. Right, going to work. You may travel to work purposes, but only where you cannot work at home. Employers and employees should discuss their work agreements, and employers should take every possible step to facilitate their employees working from home. Certain jobs require people to travel to their workplace. If you cannot work from home, then you can still travel to work, provided neither you nor any other household have coronavirus symptoms. This is consistent with advice from the Chief Medical Officer. Further information on all these areas and more available online. And there is a load of places you can go online. Not reading every bloody link out, but that is what that says. Now, how much does that cost to print out the letter and the envelope? It's only paper and ink in it, really. The government don't have to pay postal stamps. They get that fucking sent free. They've done it for 30 million homes. Let's say it's like 50p per person per envelope, 50p. So it's like £15 million they probably spent on doing that. That's £15 million they could have been spending on homeless people, or spending on more test kits, spending on more supplies for the NHS. Now, I know they did say the NHS was 13.5 billion in the red, and the government's been very good enough to actually wipe that slate clean, which is good news, I suppose, for the NHS. But if the NHS had the help and support it's supposed to have had in the past, they wouldn't be in the red, would they? No, because now the five's out and everyone's getting it. Touch wood, I haven't yet. I've not even had the symptoms. And you know what? Some people say, you shouldn't be going out. I've been out probably about 4 times within 2 weeks. 4 times. So I have kind of isolated myself, because I've not been going out as much as I normally do go out, kind of thing. You're allowed out in your balcony or your garden. You're allowed to go out and exercise. If I want, I can go and exercise every single day, and no one can tell me nothing different. As long as I'm keeping away from people and protecting myself and protecting people by me wearing a mask. There is no wrong in going out. I'll go to my do my bushcraft and building my shelter. That's my exercise. They have stated, the government has not stated how long you can go out and exercise for. You could go out from the crack of dawn to 6 o'clock in the morning to 11:30 at night. Exercise for the whole day. As long as you stop and have a break and have something to eat and drink, kind of thing. As long as you're not near no one and passing on any kind of infectious disease or germs. I'm not even anywhere near people. Even where I am, there is a woodland at the back which is owned by, the National Trust, I believe it is, or the Forestry Commission or whatever. And there's a footpath there, but that's like, you're talking about 1,000 meters away. So, I can't be, passing on my germs if I cough or sneeze. Although they reckon now that, you should be, no further, or you shouldn't be no closer than 2 meters away from each other, yeah. But now they're stating that a cough or a sneeze can travel further than 2 meters, and you should be at least 8 meters at a maximum distance, and 6 meters at minimum distance from anyone if you're going to cough or sneeze. Now, I know like supermarkets have put down little liners, 2 meters, but now they've got to, kind of like redo them and put them at 6 meters. Now, I've noticed a lot of supermarkets and even post offices are now restricting people going in their stores to the post office, like 4 people per person, 4 people per, entry. Shopping centres, there's a few which have been the small Tesco superstores. Only 4 or 6 people will be in there at any one time. The pharmacies, chemists, some of them say 2, some say 4. One round the corner to me up the road, it's only 2 people at any one time. I still say that, I'm sorry to say this, but I still say, this death toll isn't as honest as I say it is. Even worldwide. I ain't got no beef with the Chinese. I've got a nice Chinese family living across the hallway to me here. We used to say hello to each other. She gives me some cat food when she don't need it, because her cat's like mine, a bit of a fussy eater. And I always say thank you to her if I see her. Sometimes I can take her trash down if it's outside. If I've got trash myself and she's got trash outside, I'll just grab it and take it down. Saving her doing it later, because they usually put it out the night before, which I think is a bit kind of disgusting, really. Putting your trash out in the hallway, the community hallway, that could have germs in it. But, I now wear gloves when I take my trash down. So if I've got gloves on, I kind of just grab her stuff sometimes and take hers down. But say I ain't got no beef against the Chinese, but the Chinese, do fucking lie, and they're power hungry. Because I was watching a few documentaries last night about them trying to take over the UN, because there's more Chinese in the UN than in the other country. And now they're saying they've got the second wave of the coronavirus, because they're bringing in Chinese back from different countries back home, kind of thing. So now, although they've tried to sort out wave 1, now they've got wave 2. And apparently this is what I don't understand, it came from there, it spread from there, and they got less deaths there than any other country. How do you work that out? But anyway, well, at least the government kept their word on one thing, that they're going to send out letters. Not that, but many people are going to bother reading it, because it's all the same shit as they've been saying over the last few weeks anyway. Stay at home, confine yourself, isolate yourself 7 days. What if you do catch the virus, and it's a mild one, and you isolate yourself for 7 days, right? And you're feeling a lot better, you ain't got no symptoms. Do you still have to keep isolating yourself? Now, I know they say, like, after 7 days, isolate yourself, but, just be on the safe side, stay indoors a bit longer, just in case, the infection hasn't completely left your system. So that's why they're saying 2 weeks. But say if, like, you've been in an extra week, that second week, and you still got no symptoms, all the symptoms have left your body, and you feel very healthy and you want to go out, and people knew that you had that, virus, how are people going to react to you when you do start going out? Now, there's people going round, which I think is disgusting, spitting on people. Even the NHS staff has been spat on by hooligans. And they need to be fucking stopped and arrested and fucking, slammed inside and heavy fine, because, the NHS is trying to help. But the thing is, they're not getting the equipment that they need. And they're not even getting their protection equipment like masks and gloves and overalls and stuff. And the government's promised that they would, but they're not. And it ain't just in the UK, it's in other countries where, the governments have said, oh, we're definitely like, do this and do that, and it's not happening. It's all fucking mouth, no action. All mouth and no action. And where they say they're going to be helping people by giving them money, there's still people saying that they lost their job and they've got no money and they've got to go on to the unemployment universal credit, and they say that when you sign on the universal credit, it's like a 6-week waiting course, which it was. When I was switched over from JSA to universal credit, I had to wait 6 weeks. They had to give me kind of an emergency loan to see me through. And even that really didn't help that much. And it weren't just me, it's hundreds and thousands of other people who got automatically switched over to the universal credit. Hundreds and thousands of people couldn't, survive, and hundreds of people commit suicide because of that. And then they're saying, all the people who've been laid off or, fired from the works because of the coronavirus now have to go on universal credit. The last count was over 1 million people. 1 million people signed up to universal credit within 2 weeks. And that's the highest number ever. The amount of people that signed on universal credit in any time of universal credit's been, operational. And the government reckons that, new claimants and existing claimants are going to get £80 extra. I don't know if that's per week or per month, adding on top of what they would get from the universal credit. Well, I've looked on my universal credit and I haven't got no extra. Still the same as last month, because it usually tells you, on your universal credit login, how much you're going to be receiving. And it tells me on the 3rd of each month what I'm going to be getting. Now, this was supposed to go in effect, all right, on the 1st of April. People getting extra money on their income, on their support. I looked on mine yesterday, and I've even looked on it. Well, I'll be looking on it in a minute today, and it hasn't changed. I'm still getting the same. So, is the government lying about people going to get extra money? Let me just go on and check mine again. So
So I've actually got to go on anyway because I sent them an email yesterday about this. No, still the same payment. No reply to my email or my message to the advisor. So I sent them two emails. One about my rent. My rent's been increased, and I told them, my rent's increased, but I don't have the breakdown yet. So I can't actually put the information on about my rent until I get the breakdown from my housing association. Then I also asked them about my Oyster card. Can I go down and get like a form? And I posted that 30th of March. Now I did not get no replies until yesterday, 3 days later. But I'd already been down to the job centre, and I was lucky enough to see someone, although I wasn't supposed to see anyone, but I did. And I was able to get me universal credit, my bus pass sorted out, because I need it for when I do go out, for shopping or going to, get medical supplies, or, even if I need to go out exercising, if I want to go over the common, to the bus ride for me. And I've got to be somewhere on the 7th, which is like, one of the most important dates of my, within the last 8 years, it's such an important date. I've got to be somewhere. Yeah, unless I get a message saying, don't go. But anyway, as I say, at least the government's kept its word about this, but they're going to keep their word about, all the other stuff about, the NHS going to get their equipment, that they are really going to be like wiping off 13.5 billion in, debt that the NHS apparently has got. Are they actually really going to be giving us extra money? Especially all the people on universal credit or ESA, JSA, whatever kind of benefit they're on. So I'm not seeing nothing on mine yet. And they reckon it's going to be starting off on the 1st of April. Hey, hang on. Could it be an April Fool's Day trick? The government saying, oh, we're going to set the money up on the 1st of April. Yeah, fuck. We won't get it. And if they do it, yeah, certain people might get it, but hundreds of thousands of other people probably won't get it. And I know the systems will probably start breaking down. There's going to be excuses saying the system's down, or we ain't got the manpower to actually update the systems because people are off sick because of the coronavirus. I know this virus is bad and things need to be done and dealt with, but putting a lockdown to the whole country and closing businesses and stuff like that, it's like if we are going to go back soon to the Stone Age, because there ain't going to be people to go to work and run the machinery for electric and gas and waters and all the other kind of stuff that we use. It'll be fucking no cars on the road, driving around, no kind of vehicle running around whatsoever apart from military. That's how bad I think it might get. No one is allowed that, and there'll be checkpoints. There's already checkpoints in certain parts of the country anyway, and you get being stopped and asking where you're going. You ain't got good enough excuse. They turn you around and also slap a fine on you. Many people say this is worse than the fucking war. worse than the First and Second World War. You know, even with World War II, a lot of people lost their jobs, but suddenly the economy rose because we had to like produce, you know, the armory for, you know, fighting the Germans and the Japanese and, you know, other kind of like countries we was at war with. So your economy did peak up after, you know. But we didn't have lockdown where we were stuck indoors for like 2-3 weeks or whatever amount. You know, if we were going to be bombed, you know, we had the air raid shelter, which we could go and like dive into. Well, not us ourselves, but, you know, our ancestors, their family, their grandparents. Now, this is what wasn't fucking world wars. This is a biochemical war. You know, a silent war, as the government says. You know, the silent enemy. They're trying to find a cure to kill the enemy so we can get back out and do what we need to do. And they say, like, you know, hundreds of countries are trying to, like, find, you know, ways of defeating it. And last night I was watching so many videos, like, you know, China reckons they found a cure. Spain, Germany, you know, several countries apparently have medication which classes as possible vaccines, but are not being able to give test runs on them because the government's not allowed them to do test runs on them. And the government's saying, you know, if you've got a vaccine or you've got an idea on how to combat this, let us know. And I watched a couple of videos last night where people are willing to come forward and say, well, we think, you know, this might be an idea. You know, we got this medication that may work. We just need to go ahead. And they're not getting the go ahead. So where is it where the government's saying, you know, come forward and let us know. And when people do come forward, they're not getting the go ahead to do what they want to do. You know, I must watch, you know, I've done many videos I watched last night. I lost count, but there's at least half dozen which I watched. You know, it's only about 3-4 minutes long, these videos, but you know, there's several countries where they said that they may have a possible cure for the virus. They're just waiting on the government's go ahead to start doing tests on them. You know, either through animal or through human trial. So if they know that someone's going to die, it's that bad, then, you know, it's up to the person's family to give consent for that trial to, you know, be used on someone anyway. And if they go say, yeah, you know, there's a 50-50 chance anyway, yeah, that the person may or may not live. You know, the medication may work, it may not work. That's why they need trial periods, yeah. If the person survives, then it works. If it don't work, then, you know, the family might turn around and say, you know, well, you know, you killed my, you know, husband, wife, blah, 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 you know, by testing it on. But that's why they need consent. Because if they do find a cure and they are able to use it on people and it works on people, then it's not just benefited that person, their family, it's going to benefit everyone who's got, you know, the virus. But anyway, I've spoken enough. I'm going to go drink the rest of my coffee, then I'm going to go and sit on my balcony for an hour or two. All right, later all.